Welcome. There is nothing you must do now, and nowhere you need to be. Let your body grow heavy, let your breath lengthen, and let the room soften and dim around you. Tonight we wander gently among the deepest ideas in science, the strange possibility of many universes. This is the Circadian Institute, where each night we journey somewhere vast or strange, and let the slow wonders of science carry a tired mind toward sleep. Tonight we explore the multiverse, the thought that our cosmos may be one of countless others. If this voice helps you rest, subscribing keeps these long, calm nights coming. Nothing here needs remembering, and there will be no test when morning comes. These ideas are vast, yet vastness told slowly becomes a kind of comfort, and comfort is a fine doorway into sleep. You need only listen and let the wonder carry you. For nearly all of human history, we assumed something simple. We believed in just one universe, one single sum of everything that exists. The stars, the spaces between them, every law and particle belong to a single whole, and beyond it we imagine nothing further. Picture how natural that idea feels. When you look up at a night sky, it seems complete, a single ceiling stretched over a single world. The word universe even carries that meaning turned toward oneness, the whole gathered into one. For our ancestors, this was never a question to be tested. It was simply the backdrop of existence, the stage on which all things happened. One cosmos held everything, and the thought of more lay far outside what anyone needed to ask. Yet modern physics has begun to press on that ancient assumption. It raises a startling question, careful and strange. Could the whole we call everything be, in truth, only one among many? Could our universe be a single note within some larger music? Let that question rest lightly on your mind tonight. You need not solve it or believe it. Simply hold it as a wondering, the way you might hold a smooth stone, turning over the possibility that our world is not the only one. Here is the first thing worth knowing. The word multiverse is not a single tidy theory. It is an umbrella, a shared name spread over several different scientific ideas, each one distinct, each arriving from its own direction, gathered loosely beneath one word. This surprises many people. We tend to hear multiverse and imagine one clear picture. In truth, scientists use it to mean several separate possibilities, related cousins rather than identical twins, each born from a different line of careful reasoning about reality. What unites them is not a single source. It is a shared shape, the recurring hint that our universe might not be alone. From very different starting points, different theories keep arriving at the same astonishing suggestion of something more. So when you hear the word tonight, loosen your grip on any one image. Let it open into many. The multiverse is less a single doorway than a corridor of doors, each leading somewhere distinct, each worth its own slow look. We will walk that corridor gently in the hours ahead. For now, simply notice the shape of the idea. One word, many meanings, several roads of thought that happen to point, each in its own way, beyond the world we know. It would be easy to assume such ideas are pure invention. They are not. Each version of the multiverse arises from taking a respected, well-tested theory seriously and then following that theory honestly all the way to its conclusion. This is a quiet but important point. Scientists did not set out wanting other universes. Instead, they trusted their best descriptions of reality, the equations that work, and noticed where those descriptions seemed to lead when not cut short early. Think of it as listening closely to a theory. You ask what it truly implies, even past the place where the answer turns surprising. Sometimes a trusted idea taken to its end opens a door no one meant to open. That is the heart of these multiverse proposals. They are not dreams layered on top of science. They are science extended outward, the same trusted reasoning carried a few steps further than comfort, into territory that feels almost too large to hold. So as we explore, remember their lineage. Each idea is a child of something tested, something that has earned trust. The strangeness is not carelessness. It is what happens when careful thought refuses to stop at the edge of the familiar. To bring some order to the ideas, the physicist Max Tegmark offered a helpful map. He arranged the various multiverse proposals into levels, a kind of ladder, each rung reaching a little further from the world we directly know. The lowest rungs are modest. They suggest only more space, simply more cosmos lying beyond the part we can see, made of the same matter and ruled by the same familiar laws, just stretching onward past our view. Higher rungs grow bolder. As you climb, the proposals reach toward stranger ground until the most radical of them imagines every possible reality existing somewhere. Each way things could be given its own actual place within a vast arrangement. This ladder is a gift to a restful mind. It lets you take the ideas in order, one gentle step at a time, beginning with the nearly reasonable and rising slowly toward the almost unimaginable, never leaping all at once. You can pause on any rung you like. None demands that you climb higher tonight. The ladder simply stands there in the imagination, an ordered way to wander from the most modest more to the most breathtaking everything. Consider what that range of levels truly means. At one end sits the gentlest claim. That space continues beyond our sight. At the other waits the wildest, that all that could exist somehow does. Between them stretches a long, strange territory. The modest end asks little of you. More space beyond the horizon hardly offends common sense, since we already know our view of the cosmos is limited, hemmed in by how far light has had time to travel. The bold end is another matter entirely. To picture every possibility made real, each unchosen path somewhere taken, stretches the mind almost past its reach. It is the kind of thought best approached slowly, with a calm and rested attention. What makes Tegmark's scheme so soothing is the gradual climb between these poles. You are never asked to jump from the ordinary to the overwhelming. Each level adds only a little, a single step beyond the one before. Tonight you might rest somewhere in the middle of that span, comfortable and unhurried. There is no need to reach the highest level. The wonder lives in the whole range, from the quietly plausible to the dizzyingly vast. Now comes a point of real honesty, and it matters. The multiverse in every form is speculative. None of it is confirmed. It remains a collection of serious possibilities, not a list of established facts about the world we inhabit. This honesty is part of good science, not a weakness within it. To say we do not yet know is a strength. These ideas are offered as careful conjecture, held open, awaiting evidence that has not arrived. Harder still, some versions may never be testable by their nature. Certain other universes might lie forever beyond any experiment we could perform, sealed away from measurement, which keeps them closer to philosophy than to settled physical knowledge. So let nothing tonight be mistaken for proof. We are not describing discoveries. We are turning over proposals, ideas that may one day be tested, may be set aside, or may simply remain among the great open questions. Strangely, this uncertainty can be restful. You carry no duty to decide. You may let the ideas float free of any verdict, neither believed nor dismissed, simply considered, the way an open mind considers a thing not yet known. If the multiverse is unproven, you might wonder why scientists take it seriously rather than dismissing it as fantasy. The answer lies in its roots. These ideas grow from real physics, from theories already tested and trusted, not from imagination alone. 4 great pillars feed these proposals: relativity, which reshaped our sense of space and time; cosmic inflation, the early swelling of the universe; quantum mechanics, the strange rules of the very small; and string theory, a bold attempt at deeper unity. Each of these is a serious part of physics, studied for generations. The multiverse ideas do not contradict them. Instead, they emerge from them, surfacing when these respected frameworks are followed outward toward their fuller, less familiar implications. This is the difference between speculation and fantasy. Fantasy answers to nothing. These proposals answer to mathematics and to evidence already gathered, anchored in descriptions of reality that have passed test after demanding test across the long work of science. So hold both truths together gently. The multiverse is unconfirmed, yet it is not idle dreaming. It stands on tested ground, a careful reaching beyond the known, built by people following trusted physics as far as it will honestly go. So how shall we hold these ideas through the hours ahead? Gently and without pressure, we explore them as wonders to turn over in a restful mind, never as settled facts, only as possibilities science has dared to imagine. There is freedom in approaching them this way. You need not judge or conclude. Each idea can be lifted, examined, and set down again, the way you might admire a strange shell before returning it to the sand. These are among the most astonishing possibilities thought has ever reached toward. That alone is worth a slow evening, letting the scale of them wash over you without demanding that any single one be true or false. As you settle now, let the largeness feel kind rather than frightening. A cosmos perhaps far vaster than we knew is not a threat. It is an invitation to wonder offered softly to a mind at ease. Carry that openness with you into the chapters to come. We will meet each idea in turn, unhurried and clear. For now, simply breathe and let the possibility of many worlds rest lightly over your quiet, drifting thoughts. Let us pause here a moment between one wonder and the next. There is no hurry to move on. Breathe out slowly and let the vastness settle around you like a warm and weightless dark. Above you, the stars keep their slow turning, asking nothing of you tonight. You may simply rest beneath them, a small still point under an immense and unhurried sky. Feel how easy it is to be held, cradled by something far larger than yourself. Let your thoughts loosen and let the next part of our journey find you already at ease. Tonight, let your thoughts widen past the room around you. The part of the universe we can see, the observable universe, stretches about 93 billion light years across, yet that is only the region whose light has had time to reach us since the Big Bang. Picture that number not as a wall but as a shoreline. Everything within it has had long enough to send its glow toward you. Beyond it, light is still traveling, still on its way, carrying news that has not yet arrived after all this time. This boundary has a name worth holding lightly: the cosmic horizon. It is a limit on our seeing, not a limit on the universe itself. The cosmos does not stop where our vision tires, only our knowledge does for now. So when you imagine the edge of everything, soften that picture. There is no true edge out there, only the farthest distance from which light has managed to find us. The rest waits unseen, neither closer nor farther than patience allows. Let that settle as you rest. The sky you can observe is a single lit clearing inside something far larger. You live at the center of your own horizon, as does every watcher everywhere, each cradled in their own gentle circle of light. Now follow the question outward. If our horizon marks only how far we can see, what lies past it? Space very likely extends far beyond that edge, reaching outward perhaps without end, a vastness that our instruments will never fully trace. Cosmologists do not picture the universe ending just because our sight does. The horizon is ours alone, a feature of where we stand and how long light has traveled. Move elsewhere, and a new horizon opens, revealing skies we could never glimpse from here. Imagine drifting outward, past the last galaxy your telescopes can hold. You would not strike a barrier. You would simply find more space, more distance, more room unfolding ahead, the way a calm sea keeps offering horizon after horizon to a traveler. This is the heart of the gentlest idea, that the universe may be boundless, not infinite in some frightening way, but simply larger than seeing, larger than reaching, an openness with no known shore to mark its close. Hold that thought as your breathing eases. You belong to a space that may have no end. The walls you imagine dissolve, leaving only quiet extension in every direction, a roominess so complete that it asks nothing of you but wonder. Here a curious thought arrives, and it is a peaceful one. Suppose space truly is infinite. Suppose, too, that matter can be arranged in only a finite number of ways within any region. Then something surprising must quietly follow from those two ideas. If arrangements are limited but space is not, the patterns cannot stay forever new. Like a deck of cards shuffled endlessly, the same hands must eventually return. Far enough away the cosmos would have no choice but to repeat itself. So somewhere unimaginably distant, there could be a region built exactly as ours is. The same scattering of galaxies, the same arrangement of light and dust, recurring not by design but by the sheer arithmetic of endlessness stretched across infinite room. This is not magic, only counting carried to its limit, a finite set of possibilities spread through an unending expanse, leaves repetition as the calm and certain remainder. The universe simply runs out of new ways to be, then begins again. Let the idea rock you a little. You rest inside one arrangement among countless others, some unique for now, some bound to echo elsewhere. There is comfort in that pattern, a sense of belonging to a vast and orderly recurrence. Follow the repetition closer to home, gently now. If far regions must echo ours, then somewhere there could be another earth, turning under its own sun. Another sky, another evening, another quiet settling over a world that mirrors this one. And on that distant earth, perhaps another room much like the room that holds you tonight. The same hush at this hour, the same stillness gathering in the corners, a place arranged atom by atom, almost precisely as your own surroundings are. There perhaps another you rests as you rest now. Not a ghost, not a dream, but a person assembled the same way, breathing the same slow breath, perhaps even reading or hearing these very words at this very moment far across space. The thought can feel dizzying, so let it instead feel kind. You are not alone in being you. Across enough distance, your shape, your stillness, your small evening peace may be repeated, held in some far room as tenderly as in this one. Picture that faraway twin easing toward sleep, just as you are, two horizons apart, yet sharing one fading thought. Let that quiet kinship loosen your shoulders, and let the strangeness become a lullaby rather than a riddle to be solved. Beyond the exact copies lie the near ones, and they are perhaps the most touching. Countless, almost yours, living lives only slightly different from your own. The same face, the same name, yet a single choice or chance turned another way. Somewhere one of them took the path you did not. Somewhere another chose just as you chose, but the weather differed, or a word landed softly instead of sharply, and a whole life bent gently around that tiny variation. These near copies fill the distance like notes around a melody. Each is recognizably you, yet each carries some small change, a different morning, a different turn, a life shaded by one altered moment among the many that make a person. There is a strange mercy in this. Every kindness you missed, some other you offered, every rest you could not find. Another version of you is finding now, scattered through space like variations on a single much-loved theme. Let the multitude soothe rather than crowd you. You are one of an immense gentle chorus, each voice a little different, all of them yours in some far sense. Tonight you need only be this one here, breathing slow. It matters how we picture these copies, so picture them simply. They do not live in a separate reality, nor behind any veil or hidden door. They are merely very far away in the same vast space that holds you now. There is no crossing into another dimension here, no parallel world layered over ours, only ordinary distance, the same kind that separates one star from another, extended so enormously that it carries those other regions entirely out of our reach. They sit beyond our cosmic horizon, past the farthest light that can ever arrive. We cannot see them, and we can never travel to them, yet they share our single sky, our one continuous space, stretching unbroken between us and them. This makes the idea feel less like fantasy and more like geography. Not other universes stacked in mystery, but distant provinces of this one, too far for any signal, bound to us nonetheless by the same calm fabric of space. So let go of any sense of the eerie. What lies out there is not a haunting, but a faraway country, real and quiet, governed by the same laws as your bedroom, simply too remote for any visit or any glimpse. Of all the multiverse ideas, this one asks the least, and that is its beauty. It is often called Level I, the most modest version. It requires nothing exotic, no strange new physics, only that space is large enough to allow it. Notice how gentle its demands are. No hidden realms, no exotic mechanisms, no leaps beyond the cosmos we already study. It needs a single ingredient, room, vast and possibly endless, the kind many cosmologists already think is likely to exist. Because it leans only on size, it sits close to ordinary science. If space is infinite, the copies follow almost as a matter of bookkeeping, the natural arithmetic of an unbounded universe rather than a daring or fragile guess. That modesty is itself a comfort. The most far-reaching idea about other yous turns out to rest on the plainest assumption of all, that the heavens simply keep going farther than any telescope will ever manage to follow. Let the simplicity reassure you as you drift toward sleep. Nothing wild is needed for this quiet wonder, only a generous open universe, and generosity of space is something the cosmos, by every sign we have, appears to offer freely. Now gather these thoughts and let them grow still. The sky we see is one lit clearing. Beyond it stretches space perhaps without end, repeating its patterns, holding other earths, other rooms, other resting versions of you among the stars. None of it needs to feel distant or cold. The vastness is not empty so much as full, brimming with echoes of every life, including yours, arranged and rearranged across a calm immensity too large for any single sky to hold. You are held within that immensity tonight, small and yet repeated, singular and yet shared. The same space that cradles those faraway selves cradles you here, beneath one ceiling, in one bed, breathing one unhurried breath after another. Let the idea of your countless copies become a soft blanket rather than a puzzle. Somewhere they rest, and here you rest, and the whole endless room of space turns slowly around each of you with the same tenderness. So ease into the quiet now, carried by the thought of an open universe. There is room enough for everything and time enough for sleep. Let the boundless dark hold you kindly, and let your breathing slow toward rest. Rest here again for a while. The cosmos asks no questions and keeps no count of you tonight. Let the soft dark gather you in, complete and calm, and let the day's small weights fall away. Nothing in all that space is in any rush, and so neither are you. The wide universe turns gently beyond all measure, and tonight it holds your stillness somewhere within it. Breathe in the quiet, breathe out the noise, and sink a little deeper into the warmth of your own rest. The journey will wait, unhurried, until you are ready. In the first sliver of a second after the Big Bang, space is thought to have stretched at a speed beyond imagining. Physicists call this sudden swelling cosmic inflation. Settle in and let the idea expand gently around you, like the cosmos itself once did. The notion arrived through the physicist Alan Guth, who proposed it in 1980. Others, among them Andre Lindy, took the seed of it and grew it further. Tonight you need not study their work, only rest beside the wonder that one breath of space could become everything. Picture the youngest universe, smaller than anything words can hold, suddenly unfurling. There is no sound to this beginning, no rush you could ever hear. Only space, opening outward, smoothing itself as it goes, carrying the seeds of all that would later cool into stars. Inflation does not push matter through space the way wind moves a leaf. Instead, space itself swells, widening between every point. Imagine a vast sheet being drawn outward in every direction, so that nothing travels, yet everything grows more distant with each passing instant. This is where our journey begins tonight. At the threshold of an idea, from inflation grows a stranger thought, one of many universes. For now, breathe slowly, and let that first breath of space settle over you like a warm and widening calm. Many versions of the inflation theory carry a curious twist. Once that swelling begins, it may never stop completely. Not everywhere, not all at once. Across most of the vast inflating expanse, it simply carries on, swelling and swelling without end. Think of a fire that refuses to fully go out here, and there a patch cools and grows still, settling into something steadier. Yet all around those resting patches, the flame of inflation keeps burning, stretching the space between in every direction. So the cooling is not tidy or complete. It happens in scattered pockets, small islands of stillness within a restless growing sea. The rest goes on expanding far faster than any cooled patch could ever spread, outrunning every quiet corner. You might imagine it as foam that keeps rising, never quite settling in the pot. Most of it froths and swells, while a few bubbles firm up along the way. The froth, though, never ends, always making more room for itself. There is a strange comfort in a process without a final moment. Nothing here slams shut or comes to a hard stop. Let that thought ease you, this endless swelling that simply continues, somewhere far beyond us, carrying on through the deep. In each patch where inflation finally halts, something remarkable unfolds. That small region settles, and within it a big bang of its own begins. A new cosmos lights up there, born from the place where the great swelling came to rest. So a halted patch is not an ending but a doorway. The wild stretching gives way, and ordinary space and time take hold. Matter can gather, warmth can pool, and the long, slow story of stars and galaxies can begin again. Each of these settled regions becomes a bubble, growing within an endlessly inflating sea. Around it, the unstopped expanse rushes onward, while inside a whole universe quietly takes shape, with its own dawn and its own unfolding history. Here is the gentle shock of the idea. Our entire universe, every star you have ever seen, would be just one such bubble. All of our sky, vast as it feels, would be a single calm pocket within something far larger. Let that settle softly as you lie here. The whole of our cosmos, one bubble among an uncountable many, each one risen from a place where the swelling paused. You are resting inside one such resting place, held within its warmth. This whole picture has a name, and it is a fitting one. It is called eternal inflation, a beginning that never truly finishes beginning. The swelling goes on and on, forever seeding new pockets out in the boundless expanse. The word eternal is not mere decoration here. It points to a process with no last chapter, no closing line. Somewhere always space keeps stretching, and somewhere always a fresh patch settles into a brand new world of its own. From this endless beginning would come a startling abundance. Eternal inflation would produce a vast number of bubble universes, perhaps a number without any limit. Imagine cosmos after cosmos, more than thought could ever finish counting, blooming across the deep. Try to hold the scale of it gently in your mind. Not dozens, not millions, but possibly an infinity of universes, each one whole and complete. The mind cannot truly grasp such plenty, and tonight it does not need to try. Rest instead in the simple shape of the idea, an endless beginning pouring out endless worlds, each rising in its own time. Let the vastness feel less like a weight and more like a wide, warm sea you float upon. Each of these bubble universes sits alone, walled off from all the others. Between any two of them lies space that is still inflating, still swelling far too fast for anything to ever cross it. They are kept apart by sheer expansion. Picture islands scattered across an ocean that widens without pause. No matter how swift the swimmer, the water between grows quicker still. The far shore retreats faster than it can be approached, so the crossing can never once be made. This is why the bubbles can never meet or speak. They are separated forever by the swelling space that fills the gaps between them. No signal, no light, no whisper could ever travel from one shore to another across that growing divide. Each bubble, then, is a complete cosmos unto itself. It holds its own stars, its own time, its own long unfolding, and remains entirely unaware of its countless neighbors. Each one keeps its own company in the wide and silent expanse. There is a tender solitude in this, not a lonely one. Every world is whole, lacking nothing, needing no other to be complete. Let that thought rest easy on you, each cosmos sufficient unto itself, content within its own bright walls. It helps to picture the whole arrangement as foam, countless bubbles, each a universe, suspended within a sea that keeps on rising. The foam never settles, never thins, for the sea beneath it forever makes fresh room to grow. In this image, the swelling space is the dark water, restless and unending. The bubbles are the bright pockets of calm caught within it, each one cooled and quieted. Around them the great froth churns on, lifting and parting without end. New bubbles keep appearing as more patches settle and still. The foam is never finished forming, never a completed thing. Wherever the sea has swelled enough, another quiet world may bloom, joining the uncountable many already adrift out there. And the bubbles once formed are carried ever apart. The rising sea between them widens, pushing each one further from the rest. They are never gathered, never pressed together, only borne outward on the slow swell of growing space. Hold this picture loosely as your thoughts begin to ease. Foam upon a rising sea, each pale bubble a cosmos of its own. Let it shimmer at the edge of sleep, a vast and weightless drift you need not follow. Consider what it means for a bubble to be truly alone. It cannot know that any other exists, for nothing can reach it from beyond. Its sky holds only its own stars, its own light, its own long and private history. Within such a world, the neighbors remain forever hidden. there would be no rumor of them, no faint glow on the horizon, no trace at all to hint that the foam stretches on past the walls. Each cosmos keeps its own counsel. We, inside our own bubble, share that very condition. We look out as far as our light allows and see only our universe, complete in itself. The endless sea and its other worlds stay beyond every telescope we could ever raise. Yet the idea still reaches us, carried not by light but by thought. Reason and theory let us imagine what we can never see. In this gentle way, the hidden many become a little less remote, glimpsed through the mind alone. Let that be enough for tonight, this quiet knowing. Worlds beyond worlds, each sealed and serene, each keeping its own counsel in the dark expanse. You need not visit them, only rest in the wonder that they may be there. Before we close this part, one more thread is worth gathering. Different bubbles need not cool into the same conditions at all. As each patch settles, it might come to rest in its own particular way, shaped by chance into something distinct. This means the worlds could differ in their very fabric. One bubble might cool into conditions unlike our own, perhaps even with different physical laws. What feels fixed and certain here might take another form entirely in a distant cosmos. Imagine universes where the rules themselves are rewritten. The constants we trust, the forces we know, could settle differently from one bubble to the next. Each world in cooling would choose its own arrangement of the deep laws of nature. It is a thought almost too large to carry alone, so set it down lightly. Not only many worlds, but many kinds of world, each cooled into its own way of being. The variety stretches the imagination as wide as the sea itself. This is the doorway we will step through next in our journey. For now, let it rest unopened, a soft promise waiting at the edge of sleep. Breathe slow, and let other laws and other worlds carry you gently onward. Here is another soft pause, a clearing in the long night. You need not hold any of the wonder we have wandered through. Let it loosen on its own and keep only the calm it leaves behind. The stars overhead keep their ancient places, faithful and unmoving, watching over your rest as they have watched over every sleeper before you. There is deep comfort in their steadiness. Let your breath fall into their slow rhythm, even and unforced. There is nowhere else to be tonight but here, beneath a sky that has always been kind. Underneath everything you know, our universe runs on a small set of fixed numbers: the strength of gravity, the masses of the particles, the force that binds atoms together at their cores. We call these the constants of nature, and they shape all that is. Picture them as the hidden settings beneath the world, dials turned long before the first light. You never see these numbers directly, yet you feel them in every stone, every breath, every star scattered across the night above your resting head. Each constant holds steady, the same here as in the farthest galaxy your eyes could ever hope to find. Gravity pulls with one fixed strength, atoms cling with one fixed grip. From this quiet constancy, the whole of nature is steadily composed. Think for a moment how strange that steadiness is. The numbers could in principle have taken countless other values, yet ours hold firm, unwavering through all the long ages since the beginning. On their fixed faces, everything you have ever loved rests. Tonight we will wonder where these numbers came from, and whether they might have been otherwise. Let the question settle over you like a warm blanket, asking nothing, requiring no answer. Simply rest and let the dials of creation hum beneath your thoughts. Now imagine a cosmos far larger than one universe alone. In an eternally inflating multiverse, new bubble universes keep forming, each one sealed within its own expanse. They bloom endlessly like foam upon a sea that has no shore and no horizon. Here is the dreamlike part. Each bubble could be born with different values for the constants, a different strength of gravity, a different grip holding atoms together, every bubble a fresh roll of the dials, set once at birth and never turned again. Most of these combinations would form something very different from our own. Many would hold no stars to warm them, no atoms gathering into worlds, no chemistry unfolding. They would simply be wide, open expanses, bare and serene, resting in their own vast simplicity. Let that thought drift over you gently, without any weight of fear. These empty universes are not sad places. They simply are resting in their own stillness, asking for nothing, holding no one, complete in their silence as a windless winter field. And somewhere among that endless foam of bubbles, ours took shape. One small expanse where the dials happened to allow warmth and structure and the slow gathering of matter into light. Hold that gentle wonder close as your breathing begins to ease. Our universe seems strangely well suited to life, as though made with us in mind. The numbers sit within a narrow band that permits stars to burn and atoms to endure. It is a fit so close it can take your breath away. Consider what hangs on these fine margins. If several constants were even slightly different, stars could not shine across the dark. Atoms could not hold themselves together. The cosmos would stay a thin and lightless haze, with nothing ever forming inside it. This delicate suitability has a name. We call it the fine-tuning of the universe, this sense that the dials rest precisely where life becomes possible, not loosely near, but close, as if balanced on the narrow edge of a knife. You can feel the wonder of it in your own quiet body. The same balanced numbers that let stars ignite also let your heart beat now here, beneath the blankets. You are a small, warm consequence of a finely settled cosmos. Rest in that thought without straining to solve it. Whether by chance or by some reason we cannot yet see, the universe came out suited to your being here. Let that mystery cradle you gently as your eyes grow heavy and slow. Why should our universe be so finely fit for life? One proposed explanation is, quite simply, the multiverse itself. The answer may lie not in our single cosmos, but in the uncountable others that could exist alongside it, unseen. Suppose countless universes truly exist, each one carrying its own setting of the constants. Every possible arrangement of the dials is tried somewhere, across an expanse so vast that the mind can only bow before its sheer immensity and grow still. Among that endless variety, a rare few will by chance turn out friendly to life. Most stay barren, but with so many universes drawn, some must land within the narrow band where stars can shine and atoms can hold fast. And naturally, we find ourselves living in one of those rare welcoming ones. We could hardly wake within a barren bubble, for no one wakes where waking is impossible, so here we are, in a place that happened to allow us. Let this gentle logic loosen the puzzle in your mind. The fine-tuning need not be a miracle aimed at us. It may be the simple shadow cast by vastness, the natural fruit of trying everything. Breathe slowly and let it rest. This way of reasoning carries an old and lovely name. It is called the anthropic principle, and it gently turns the question of fine-tuning back upon the one who is asking it. The observer becomes part of the answer. The idea is simpler than its name suggests. We observe a life-friendly universe because only a life-friendly universe could ever contain observers. A barren cosmos holds no one to marvel at its barrenness, no eyes to witness, no mind to wonder. So the very fact that you are here noticing already tells you something. The universe you find must be one of the welcoming kinds. No other sort could have produced a watcher to find anything at all beneath its sky. It is a quiet little twist, almost like a riddle whispered at bedtime. Existence selects its own witnesses. The places that can be seen from within are exactly the places that allow someone within to do the seeing in the first place. There is no need to untangle it further tonight. Simply rest in the strange comfort of it. You are here because here is one of the places where being here is allowed. Let that soft circle close and let your thoughts grow calm. Here is a way to picture it that may settle easily in your mind. It is like a vast cosmic lottery, with universes for tickets and the constants printed upon each one, an unimaginable number of tickets drawn across the endless expanse. Now think of what most of those tickets hold. Almost everyone is calm, a universe without the prize of stars or atoms inside, still and dark and serene. The great many simply rest unlit when their numbers are read, each at ease in its own silence. Yet with enough tickets drawn, a few must win among countless blanks. Somewhere a rare ticket carries the winning numbers, the precise settings that let warmth and structure and living things arise. Pure chance, scattered wide enough, makes the unlikely sure. And only the winners are ever there to notice that they won. No blank ticket can read itself or celebrate its blankness. The winning few alone hold someone who can look at the numbers and softly understand what fortune they were dealt. So perhaps that is what we are, you and I, a winning ticket, marveling at its own good luck in the small hours of the night. Let the wonder of that draw carry you downward now, gently toward the edge of sleep. Let us sit a little longer with how fine the balance truly is. Change one number by a touch, and stars never kindle. Change another, and atoms come apart. Our whole bright world balances upon a slender edge of chance. Yet balance need not feel precarious tonight. A spinning top stays upright through its motion, and a held note stays clear upon the air. Our universe holds its poise in much the same way, steady within the narrow band that allows it. Think of the constants as a chord that happens to resolve. Most random notes would clash into noise, formless and harsh. Ours fall together into something that rings true, a harmony quiet enough for stars and warm enough for you. It can feel dizzying, all this leaning on such slender margins. So let the lottery ease the vertigo away. The edge is sharp, yes, but with endless draws, some universe was always going to land softly upon it, just as ours did. Breathe into that steadiness now, the calm of a thing well balanced and holding. You rest within a cosmos that came out poised for your presence. Let your body grow heavy, trusting the quiet poise that has carried everything this far. As this part of our journey draws toward its close, let the whole picture rest lightly upon you. A multiverse of bubbles, a scatter of constants, a handful of universes where the numbers happen to welcome warmth and light and life. Remember the gentle thread that joined it all, the fine-tuning that puzzled us, the many universes offered as its answer, the lottery of blank and winning tickets, the soft realization that only winners are ever there to look around. You need not decide tonight whether the multiverse is truly so. It is enough to hold the wonder of the question, to feel how a single life can ask why the numbers are kind, and find peace in not yet knowing. Whatever the deepest answer turns out to be, this much is yours to keep. You exist within a universe that allowed you a place finely set for hearts to beat and minds to wonder. That alone is a quiet marvel worth resting upon. So let the constants hum on, unchanging, holding the stars in place while you let go. You are a fortunate ticket in a generous draw, safe within the lucky universe. Rest now and let sleep gather you gently into its keeping. Pause once more and let the great calm cradle you. The universe unfolds without effort, and so tonight may you let it hold you loosely now, with nothing to grasp and nowhere to go. No effort is needed to belong here. You are carried the way the stars are carried, gently and without strain, part of the same slow and steady turning of all things. So let yourself settle, soft and unhurried, into the wide calm of the night. The next part of our journey can wait until your breathing has grown slow and deep. Before anyone looks at it, a tiny particle does not settle on a single state. Quantum physics says it lingers in a blur of several possibilities at once. This overlap of maybes has a name. Physicists call it superposition, and tonight we begin there. Picture the particle as a chord rather than a single note, many tones sounding together. It is not that we fail to know which one is true, it is that for now all of them are true together, held in a balance no one has yet disturbed. Then we measure it, and the chord settles into one clear note. We find a single outcome where a moment before there were many. The blur draws into a point, and the other possibilities slip quietly out of view, where they rest as a gentle question, one we will return to with no hurry. Here the deep puzzle opens like a door. Why do we see only one result when so many were possible? And where, if anywhere, do all the others go once the looking is done? Let these questions rest in your mind unhurried as we move on. For now you need not solve anything. Simply hold the strangeness lightly, the way you might cup water in your hands, a particle that is many, then suddenly one. Breathe with that thought, and let it carry you toward the answer one bold thinker once gave. In 1957, a young physicist named Hugh Everett offered an answer unlike the others. The other possibilities, he suggested, do not go anywhere at all. Nothing is lost when we measure, and nothing is erased. The whole blur survives, just not where we can easily see it. His idea was bold in its plainness. Rather than asking what destroys the extra outcomes, Everett asked why we assume they are destroyed. Perhaps the mathematics means exactly what it says, and every possibility carries on, fully real alongside the one we happen to notice. Each outcome in this picture unfolds in its own branch of reality. The single world we know becomes one limb of something larger, a structure that keeps every result rather than choosing among them. This is what we now call the many worlds interpretation. Notice how the puzzle softens under his answer. We see one outcome because we are inside one branch, looking outward from within it. The others are not gone. They are simply elsewhere on paths that have parted from ours and no longer touch. It is a thought worth holding gently as you settle deeper. Nothing wasted, nothing vanished, every chance preserved somewhere in the wider whole. Everett gave the universe permission to keep all of its answers. Let that generosity ease you toward rest tonight. In this view, the universe is never quite finished. It is constantly splitting, dividing again and again as events unfold. Where the old picture saw one fixed history, the many worlds idea sees a tree forever, putting out new branches into being. Consider what triggers each division. Every quantum event with several possible results splits the world into copies, one copy for each outcome. Nothing is left out and nothing is favored. The world simply multiplies to make room for all of them. And crucially, all of these copies are equally real. None is the true world while the rest are shadows or mere ghosts. Each branch is as solid and complete as the one beneath your resting body, each carrying its own full version of events. Imagine the gentlest river reaching a delta, parting into channel after channel. No single stream is the real river, and none is false. They are all water, all flowing, all true. The cosmos, in this telling, branches in much the same way. There is no sound to this splitting, no jolt you could ever feel. It happens beneath every choice and every chance, smooth and ceaseless. As you breathe, worlds may be parting away from worlds, calm and unbidden, asking nothing of you. Long ago, a thinker imagined a cat resting inside a closed box, gently linked to a single quantum event. The famous puzzle wondered how the cat might be tied to two possibilities at once, two outcomes that the old way of thinking found hard to picture together. We will ease that puzzle soon. In the older telling, this felt like a knot that resisted untangling. How could one outcome and another seem to be held side by side until the moment someone opened the box and found a single settled answer waiting there? A calmer answer, it turns out, was on its way. Everett's view dissolves the knot with surprising ease. The cat is not truly half of each. Instead, the world has simply split in two, parting along the quantum event into a pair of branches that no longer share the same story. In one branch, the cat is wholly alive, breathing softly in the dark and waiting to be found. In the other, just as real, the moment simply went the other way. Two outcomes, two worlds, each complete and whole, neither one a riddle once you let the branches separate. So the cat was never an impossible thing, only a hinge between paths. What looked like contradiction was a doorway to two realities. Hold that resolution lightly now, the tangle smoothed, the box opened gently in each of its quiet worlds. If Everett is right, the branching does not stop at particles or cats. It reaches all the way to you. Countless versions of yourself are splitting off ceaselessly, each one carried into a slightly different life by the small turns of chance. Somewhere, a version of you chose the other road, said the other word, woke an hour earlier than you did. None of these selves is more genuine than another. Each lives a full life, complete and ongoing, shaped by paths you did not take. And here is the tender part. None of them is aware of the others. No branch can feel its neighbors or reach across the divide. Each you moves through a single world, unhurried and unknowing, certain it is the only one there has ever been. Rather than loneliness, you might find a strange comfort here. Every kindness you missed, some other self managed. Every road left behind is still being walked. Nothing possible is wholly lost. It lives on in a branch beyond your sight tonight. Let that be a pillow for the mind as sleep approaches. You are one leaf on an immense and branching tree, whole where you are and untroubled by the rest. Rest here in this branch, in this breath, exactly where you belong. You may wonder why, if all these branches exist, you never glimpse a single one of them. The answer lies in how thoroughly the paths divide. Once two branches part, they no longer interact, and each becomes invisible to the other. Think of two boats easing apart on a wide and windless sea. At first they drift within sight, then slowly the distance grows. Eventually neither can see the other's lantern, though both sail on, each crew sure their own boat is alone. So it is with the worlds of Everett. Your branch holds a single, seamless story precisely because the others have slipped beyond its reach. You see one outcome not because the rest were destroyed, but because they have quietly stepped away. This is why the splitting feels like nothing from the inside. There is no seam in your day, no flicker where a world divided. Each branch is whole and smooth to those within it, sealed in its own unbroken experience of things. Let the hiddenness reassure rather than unsettle you. The other worlds make no demands and send no messages. They ask nothing, disturb nothing, and leave your night entirely your own. One world, this one, is all you need to hold right now. Part of what made Everett's proposal so striking was its restraint. He added nothing extra to the equations, no special rule for the moment of measurement. He simply trusted the mathematics to mean what it plainly said, all the way through. In the usual account, measurement was treated as a thing apart, a sudden collapse that the equations themselves never quite described. Everett let that special step fall away. Without it, the math kept every outcome, and the branches followed as a natural result. There is an elegance in asking for less rather than more. Where others reached for an extra mechanism to erase the unseen, he reached for nothing and found the many worlds already waiting inside the formulas, implied and complete. So the branching realities are not an exotic addition to physics. In Everett's reading, they are what the plain equations describe when no one interrupts them with special exceptions. The strangeness was always there, folded quietly into the familiar symbols. Let that thought rest easy as the hour grows late. Sometimes the boldest idea is simply to take the math at its word and follow where it leads. Everett followed, and the path opened into endless branches, calm and unforced. We have followed one answer to a deep question tonight, the answer Everett gave in his many worlds view. The single outcomes we see are not the whole story, only the one limb of reality on which our own lives happen to rest. Recall the gentle shape of it. A particle holds many possibilities, Measurement does not destroy them. Instead, the world divides, keeping each outcome in its own real branch. From cats to galaxies to you, the cosmos forever parts into more of itself. Whether or not nature truly works this way, the picture carries a curious peace. Nothing possible need be mourned as lost. Every road is traveled by someone, every chance fulfilled in some branch, the whole of what could be made fully real. So let the many worlds fade now into the background of your mind. You need not track them or choose among them. Let them keep branching far away, soundless and unseen, while you stay here, settling deeper into this one calm moment. Rest now here on your single quiet branch of everything. Let your breath slow, and let the splitting cosmos tend to itself without you. Of all the countless worlds that may exist, this is the one where you are gently falling asleep. Rest again beneath this calm sky. The hour is late and the dark is kind, and there is nothing left undone that the morning cannot keep. Let the stillness widen around you. Above you, the vast cosmos moves without strain, slow and sure, needing no help and no watching. You may set down every task and simply be here, breathing at ease. Feel the gentle weight of your own resting body, and let it anchor you while your mind floats free among the far and quiet stars. Tonight we wander to the farthest shore of imagination, where physics meets pure geometry. String theory is an ambitious attempt to unite all of physics into one description. It hints that the constants of nature depend on how tiny extra dimensions of space are folded and curled away from our sight. Picture dimensions too small to see, tucked beneath every point of space like creases in paper folded again and again. The shape of those creases, string theory suggests, decides the values woven through our laws. Rest here and let that strange thought settle. In this picture, the masses of particles and the strengths of forces are not arbitrary commandments. They are echoes of geometry, of how invisible dimensions twist and close upon themselves. Change the folding, and you would change the deepest numbers that shape reality. It is a beautiful idea to hold as you breathe. The texture of the world we know might be set by hidden curves we will never touch, far smaller than any instrument can reach. Let the wonder of it move through you without effort. None of this rests on firm experimental ground, and honesty asks that we say so plainly. These are mathematical visions, reaching well past what we can test. So receive them as a lullaby of ideas, not as settled facts about the cosmos. Here the numbers grow almost too large to picture, yet they invite rest rather than alarm. There may be an astonishing number of ways to fold those hidden dimensions. Estimates reach around 10 to the power of 500 different possibilities, each one a different possible universe. Let that figure wash over you like a tide you need not count. 10 to the 500 is a number so immense that the cosmos around us offers nothing to compare it with. It dwarfs every grain and every star we could ever name. Each one of those foldings would be a complete world with its own constants and its own quiet laws. This entire collection of possibilities carries a fitting name. Physicists call it the string landscape, a terrain of universes stretching beyond all seeing. Imagine a landscape not of hills and valleys, but of whole realities, each waiting in the mathematics. You could walk it forever and never meet the same world twice. The mind grows pleasantly tired, even trying to hold its edges. Remember, this landscape lives in equations, not in anything we have observed. We have never glimpsed another folding, nor confirmed that even one exists beyond our own. Hold the vision lightly as you breathe, a wonder admired from a peaceful distance. Let us linger in this landscape a little longer, the way one lingers in a calm and half-remembered dream. Think of every possible folding as a point in an endless terrain. Each point is a universe that string theory says could, in principle, exist. Some of these worlds would barely differ from our own, their constants nudged by the faintest amount. Others would be utterly alien, with forces and particles unlike anything we know. Between them stretches a vastness no traveler could ever cross. Our universe in this picture would be a single dwelling somewhere in that immensity. Not the center, not the summit, simply one chosen folding among unimaginably many. The thought is humbling, and it can be restful too. To feel small in such company is not a sorrow, but a kind of release. You are a brief, warm pattern within one folding of one landscape. Let that lower your shoulders and ease the weight you carry into the night. Still, we must keep our honesty close beside our wonder. This terrain is a map drawn by mathematics, not a country anyone has visited. Whether the landscape is real remains far beyond the reach of any test we can perform. Now, two grand ideas reach toward each other across the dark expanse of theory. The string landscape offers countless possible universes waiting in the equations. Eternal inflation offers a mechanism that might bring such possibilities into being, one bubble at a time. Combined, they whisper a daring suggestion to anyone willing to listen. Perhaps every folding in the landscape is realized somewhere as a real bubble universe. Each would float scattered through the endlessly inflating sea, separated by gulfs we cannot cross. In this marriage of ideas, the possibilities are not merely imagined on paper, they become actual regions, each cooled from inflation into its own set of laws. The landscape stops being a catalog and becomes, if true, a living multitude. Let your thoughts float among those bubbles like seeds carried on a vast, slow current. Somewhere, a universe with slightly heavier matter, somewhere one where matter never gathered, all of them adrift, all of them unreachable, all of them at peace. Yet we should breathe and remember how speculative this union truly is. Neither the landscape nor these bubbles has been seen or measured. It is a beautiful weaving of two unproven ideas offered to the mind as wonder, not as proof. Beyond even the landscape lies a thought so bold it can feel like standing at the edge of language. The physicist Max Tegmark has suggested the most radical idea of all. It reaches further than bubbles, further than foldings into the nature of existence itself. His proposal is startling in its simplicity once you let it unfold. Every mathematical structure that can exist, he suggests, does exist. Each such structure is its own universe, as real as the equations that describe it. Picture mathematics not as a language we invented to describe the world. Picture it instead as the very fabric from which all worlds are cut. In this view, reality is, at its deepest level, mathematics itself, complete and self-contained. It is a dizzying notion to rest upon as your breathing slows. Every consistent pattern of numbers and shapes would bloom somewhere into a world, Ours would be one structure among an infinity of structures, each quietly being what it is. Hold this most lightly of all, for it is speculation in its purest form. No experiment could confirm it, and perhaps none ever could. Let it be a strange and beautiful music to fall asleep to, nothing more demanding than that. Let us dwell gently on this last and strangest vision before we turn back. If every mathematical structure is a universe, then existence and consistency become almost the same thing. To be possible in the deepest sense would be to be real. Think of the calm theorems you may have met long ago, the circles and the proofs. In this view, such structures are not pale descriptions of things. They are the things, whole worlds standing on the firm ground of their own logic. Our cosmos, then, would be one especially rich structure among countless others. Some worlds would be vast and intricate, others spare and simple as a single line. Each would exist with equal right, needing nothing outside itself to hold it up. There is a deep stillness in imagining reality resting on pure mathematics. No first cause to chase, no outer scaffolding to explain, only structure being itself. Let that smooth and seamless picture loosen the questions in your mind. And yet we end as honest dreamers, naming this what it is. This is the most speculative idea in all of the multiverse, far beyond any test. Admire it from a distance as a wonder, and let it go as you settle deeper. We have come now to the outermost rim of everything thinking can reach. These are the most speculative ideas in all of the multiverse, by a wide measure. They stretch far beyond any experiment we could even imagine ourselves performing. There is no instrument that could fold a dimension differently to check. No probe could ever sail into a neighboring bubble and return with word. No measurement could survey the infinite family of mathematical worlds Tegmark describes. So these ideas live in a country built of pure thought and equation. They are beautiful and dizzying mathematics, reaching past the very edge of the knowable. We can map their shapes with reason, yet we cannot walk their ground. Let that limit be a comfort rather than a frustration tonight. You are allowed to rest at the border of what can be known. The not knowing is not a failure, but a soft and open space. To stand here, awake to such grand uncertainty, is itself a kind of grace. We are small minds glimpsing structures far larger than our proofs. Breathe slowly and let the unknown hold you the way the night does. As this journey through the multiverse draws toward its close, let us gather what matters most. We have traveled from bubbles to landscapes to mathematics, dreaming itself into worlds. Honesty now asks us to hold all of it with open and unhurried hand. These visions are wonders to admire from a distance, not established truths about our home. They are not facts we have confirmed about the world we actually live in. Knowing that does not dim their beauty, it keeps our wonder clear and clean. It is a fine and grounding thing to love an idea without needing it to be certain. You can cherish the landscape and the infinite structures while expecting nothing of them. That gentle holding is its own form of peace. So let these grand possibilities settle around you like distant lights at the close of day. Real or not, they have widened the sky inside your mind tonight, and the widening, the quiet awe of it is yours to keep. Now release the equations. the foldings, the endless mathematical worlds, and let them rest. You need carry none of it into sleep, only the calm that wonder leaves behind. Breathe out, soften, and let the vast and friendly mystery close like a blanket. One last pause before the journey's final stretch. Let everything grow soft and slow. The cosmos has unfolded for billions of years. It can surely hold you a little while longer as you rest. There is nothing but calm in all that space overhead. It is only the universe, vast and ancient and quiet, turning onward with great tenderness and holding you somewhere among its many lights. Let the quiet carry you onward, closer to sleep with every slow breath. Whatever remains of the night will unfold gently and ask nothing of you but to rest. The great trouble with the multiverse is reach. Other universes, by their very nature, may lie forever beyond our sight. No light crosses the space between them and us, and no signal we know of can travel that distance. Tonight, let this thought settle gently as you rest. Picture a shore where the waves arrive from somewhere unseen. You feel the water, yet the far ocean stays hidden past the curve of the world. Other universes might be like that horizon, present in theory, withheld from every instrument we could ever build or imagine. Distance here is stranger than the distance between stars. It is not merely far, it may be unreachable in principle, sealed away by the very structure of space. No faster ship, no sharper telescope would close a gap that nature itself has drawn around each separate cosmos. And yet this need not trouble you. There is a kind of peace in a boundary that cannot be crossed, a relief in setting down the wish to see everything. Some doors stay closed, and we can rest beside them without sorrow, breathing easy in the evening. So we begin honestly. The multiverse may forever hide its neighbors from us, offering no glow to capture, no message to decode. Hold that limit lightly as your thoughts grow heavier, and let the unanswered question rock you toward an unhurried, welcome sleep. This reach raises a hard and fair question. If we can never observe these other universes, is the multiverse truly science, or is it closer to philosophy? The wondering itself is honest and worth carrying lightly into the stillness of the night. Science, at its heart, asks to be tested. It loves a prediction that the world can confirm or deny, a claim that meets the evidence and survives or falls. When observation cannot reach a claim, that careful spirit grows watchful and asks where the idea truly stands. This remains a genuine and unsettled debate among serious physicists. Thoughtful minds line up on differing sides, each reasoning with care, none able to close the matter. It is a living disagreement, not a settled verdict, and that openness is nothing to fear. You might imagine two friends by a low fire, turning the same question between them through the long evening. Neither shouts the other down. They weigh, they pause, they wonder aloud, content to let a deep puzzle remain unsolved while the embers fade to warmth. There is dignity in admitting we do not yet know which it is, science or something near it. The boundary between them blurs at the edges of knowledge. Let that blur be peaceful tonight, a haze on the far hills as your breathing slows toward sleep. Still, there is one faint hope, and it is a lovely one. If our bubble universe ever brushed against a neighboring bubble in the inflating sea, That gentle collision might have left a mark behind, a trace we could someday learn to read. Imagine two soap bubbles touching for an instant on a vast and shining surface. Where they meet, a faint ring forms, a delicate seam pressed into the film. Whole universes, the theory whispers, might touch in much the same fleeting, tender way. That mark could be a faint circular pattern or a cool spot written into the cosmic microwave background. This is the ancient afterglow of the Big Bang, the oldest light there is, spread softly across the whole reach of the sky above you. So the dream is simple and strangely beautiful. A neighbor we can never visit might still have grazed our shore long ago and left a quiet bruise upon the dawn of everything, a fingerprint from beyond the only world we have ever known. Let that image stay with you as you settle deeper, a faint circle in the oldest light, a hint of company in the immense beyond. Even an unproven hope can comfort, and this one asks nothing of you but to rest and wonder. Astronomers have searched that ancient glow with great care, hunting for such bruises across the sky. They map the afterglow in fine detail, looking for any circle or cool patch that should not be there, any whisper of a touch from another world. Think of careful hands smoothing an old cloth, feeling for the faintest seam beneath the fingertips. The cosmic background is that cloth woven near the beginning of time. Each unhurried pass across it is a search for something almost too subtle to find. A few curious features have been noticed over the years, small oddities that made researchers pause and look again. Each one invited hope, a gentle quickening of attention, a question raised against the quiet field of the oldest light we can see. But nothing has been confirmed. No clear sign of another universe has yet been found in all that careful looking. The curious spots remain only that curious, unproven, neither doorway nor disproof, lingering at the soft edge of what we can measure. There is grace in such honest searching, in looking hard and reporting plainly that the answer has not come. Let that steadiness reassure you now. The sky is being read with care, and you may close your eyes and leave the watching to others. For now, the multiverse remains a set of predictions, drawn carefully from theories we already trust. These same theories explain much that we do see, and they point beyond themselves toward worlds we cannot yet confirm. So the idea waits, poised between reason and proof. It is rather like a letter written and sealed, addressed to a future that may never reply. The theories pen the words, the cosmos has not yet answered. We hold the envelope gently, unsure if evidence will ever arrive to open it for us. This waiting could be long, longer perhaps than any of us. The proof may come in some far season of science, or it may never come, dissolving instead into deeper understanding. Either ending is allowed, and neither needs to weigh upon your heart. Honesty asks us to hold these ideas lightly, with open and untroubled minds, not to clutch them as certainties, nor to cast them aside, but to carry them loosely the way you might hold a thought that is fading as sleep draws near. So let the predictions rest where they belong, in the wide space between asked and answered. They harm nothing by waiting. You may set them down beside you like a book left open on the quilt, and let the night turn its own slow pages. Science is wonderfully comfortable with open questions. It does not need every answer tonight, nor demand that the universe explain itself on our schedule. An unanswered question is not a wound to it, but an invitation, a room left open for tomorrow's careful thought. Not knowing is not failure. This is worth repeating as you breathe and ease. The blank space on the map is simply where the next journey starts, and there is no shame in standing at its edge with curiosity rather than dismay. Knowledge has an honest edge, a place where the known meets all that is not yet known. Standing there is not frightening when you make peace with it. It is the quiet place where wonder and inquiry meet, and where the mind can finally rest. Think of how children ask why, and feel no defeat when the answer turns out to be, "We are still finding out." That openness lives in good science too, unhurried and content. You can borrow it now, letting unsolved things lie peacefully unsolved. So make a home in the open question tonight. Let it be furnished with calm rather than worry, a comfortable space where you need solve nothing. The multiverse may wait, the proof may wait, and you gently may stop waiting and simply rest. Beneath all of this lies a quiet humility, and it suits the hour well. We are small minds reaching toward something perhaps endless, and there is sweetness in admitting how little we grasp. Humility is not sadness, it is the gentle honesty of wonder. To say we do not know and may never know is a brave and tender thing. It asks no pretending and offers no false comfort, yet it leaves room for awe, the kind that widens the chest and then loosens it toward ease. Consider how much we have already learned about the heavens, and how much still hides beyond our longest reach. Between those two truths sits a humble peace. We have done well, and we remain delightfully unfinished, and both can soothe you as you settle. Wonder asks nothing in return, no answer, no conquest, no final word. It is content simply to behold and to ask again tomorrow. Let your own wonder be that generous now, expecting nothing, receiving the night as a gift freely given to you. So hold the multiverse the way you might hold a far light at sea, with affection and without grasping. Its mystery is not a burden but a companion. Breathe it in once more, and let humility lay you down into the deep of sleep. We come at last to a resting place, here at the honest edge of understanding. The question of other universes may never close, and tonight that is wholly fine. You have followed it far enough, and now you may lay the wondering down. Remember the shape of what we found. There may be worlds beyond all reach, a faint hope written in ancient light, a careful search still open, and a debate still kindly unsettled. None of it asks anything of you in this peaceful hour. Let the not knowing be a pillow rather than a stone. It is the honest edge where wonder and inquiry meet, and it is a fine place to fall asleep, soft beneath you, asking for no resolution before the morning returns with its light. The cosmos will keep its secrets through the night, untroubled, in no hurry to confess. The afterglow will go on shining where it has shone for ages, and you, a small and curious part of it, may finally close your eyes in peace. So rest now, easy and unhurried, at home among the open questions. The multiverse waits without impatience, and so may you breathe slowly, let your thoughts grow dim, and sink into the warm and welcome quiet where wonder gives way to sleep. The observable universe has an edge, though space itself does not stop there. Light has had only so long to travel since the Big Bang began. We see exactly as far as that light has reached us, and no farther for now. Picture the horizon at sea, where water seems to meet sky in a clean line. That line is not the end of the ocean. It marks how far your eye can carry across the curve of the world, a boundary of seeing rather than of being. So it is with the cosmos around you tonight. Beyond our horizon lies more universe, real and vast, whose light has simply not arrived yet. The limit is not a wall, only the distance that brightness has managed to cross. And this edge does not hold perfectly fixed. With each passing year, light from a little farther away completes its long journey and reaches our waiting telescopes. The horizon widens gently and steadily, opening the view by a fraction. There is comfort in a boundary that keeps giving way. What lies past it is not forbidden, merely not yet seen. The universe is larger than our looking, and our looking grows steady and slow as the ages turn. Here a real tension lives among thoughtful scientists. Some argue the multiverse is, surprisingly, the simpler idea. A single rule that naturally spills out countless universes can be tidier than one special cosmos needing careful, deliberate adjustment. Think of a law so plain it asks for nothing extra, yet from it whole worlds unfold without further tuning. To these minds, many universes are not a cost but a saving, the cleaner shape of the equations at work. Others see the matter almost upside down, conjuring endless unseen worlds to explain the single one we hold strikes them as wildly extravagant, a vast surplus summoned to settle a modest question we could perhaps answer another way. They lean on an old principle, worn smooth by centuries of use. Explanations, it holds, should not multiply things beyond what is truly necessary. Why invent uncountable worlds when one rightly understood might suffice for everything we observe? Both stances are reasonable, and that is the honest heart of it. No clever trick has settled the question between them. The debate continues, careful and open. Two fair readings of the same deep silence overhead tonight. String theory offers a strange and beautiful picture. Our entire universe might be a vast membrane, often called a brain, floating within a space of higher dimensions than the three we move through. Everything you know could rest upon it. Imagine a wide sheet adrift in a room far larger than itself. The sheet is all our space, every star and breath of it. The room beyond holds dimensions we cannot enter, stretching in directions our senses were never made to feel. Other brains, other universes might hang nearby within those extra dimensions. One could float only a tiny distance off, closer than any star, an entire world suspended just beside our own, in a direction we cannot point toward. Yet it would stay completely hidden from us. Light and matter are bound to our own membrane, unable to leap the gap so no ray could ever carry an image across. A parallel world might be unimaginably close and forever unseen. Let that thought settle as you rest. This is speculative, an idea drawn from the mathematics of string theory, not a thing observed. Still, it whispers that nearness and visibility are not the same, and the cosmos may keep its neighbors well concealed. Some cosmologists explore a gentle, sweeping possibility. The Big Bang, they wonder, may not have been the absolute beginning of all things. Perhaps it was one chapter among many, a single bright page in a far longer book. In cyclic models, the universe lives through grand seasons of its own. It may expand for ages, then slowly contract or bounce, and afterward begin again. Cycle follows cycle, with no first dawn that anyone can clearly name. This would be a multiverse spread across time rather than across space. Not worlds standing side by side, but worlds following one another, universe after universe, each rising from the cooling embers of the one that came before. Imagine a tide that never truly ends, only withdraws to gather itself and return. Each return brings fresh stars, fresh light, perhaps fresh laws written anew on the same ancient and tireless ground beneath everything. These ideas remain speculative and warmly debated among the experts, yet they spring from serious attempts to understand the beginning, to ask what came before the dawn. Rest easy in the wondering. The question itself is a kind of light. One reason physicists take the multiverse seriously is curious indeed. The notion arrives uninvited, walking in from several independent directions at once. No single theory summoned it. Instead, it keeps appearing like a guest no one quite remembers asking. Cosmic inflation, our best account of the earliest instant, suggests bubble universes blossoming endlessly. The rapid swelling of space need not stop everywhere together, leaving separate bubbles to form, each a cosmos sealed away from the rest. Quantum mechanics tested to astonishing precision hints at branching worlds. In some readings, every possibility that can happen does happen, the river of events splitting again and again into countless channels we never see merge back. String theory, our boldest reach toward unity, suggests a vast landscape of possibilities. Its equations seem to allow an enormous range of universes, each with its own settings, a wide field of worlds laid out across the mathematics. None of these theories was built to predict other universes, and that is the striking part. Yet each followed honestly seems to point that way. When separate roads lead to the same strange place, it is worth a careful, unhurried look. Whatever the final truth turns out to be, you are living this one life tonight. This single thread, warm and particular, runs through whatever else may be. Of all the worlds that might exist, you are wholly and only here. The other worlds, should they be real, ask nothing of you in this hour. They make no claim on your breath, your rest, or the slow settling of your thoughts. You owe the infinite no answer before morning comes. A quiet freedom lives in that release. You need not hold every possibility at once, nor carry the weight of all that could have been. It is enough to be fully present here within this one real and unrepeatable moment. Let the grand machinery of the cosmos tend to itself far beyond your reach. Galaxies will turn, and any other universes will go on as they please, while you rest, asking nothing, holding nothing, simply breathing in the night. So let the vastness be vast, and let yourself be small and safe within it. There is room for wonder and for sleep in the very same heart. Close your eyes now. Infinity will keep, and this gentle life is yours. Begin close to home with our sun. It is one star among hundreds of billions in the Milky Way, our home galaxy. Hold that for a breath. Each of those countless suns is a fire of its own, scattered across a slow river of light that turns through the immensity of space. Now let the view widen further. Our whole galaxy, with all its hundreds of billions of stars, is only one among the billions of galaxies in the observable universe. Picture them as faint islands of light, strewn across a darkness so wide that the mind can only gesture toward it. Light is the swiftest thing we know, yet even light grows weary here. From the farthest galaxies it travels for billions of years before it reaches us. The glow arriving tonight set out long ago, a message from an ancient cosmos, crossing depths almost too great to name. So this single known universe is already nearly beyond imagining, and the multiverse asks for more. It invites you to picture something larger still, a vastness beyond the vastness you have only begun to hold. Let the question rest lightly. It does not need answering now. Let the bigness feel kind rather than fearful. You are small, yes, but you belong to all of this, made of the same matter as the stars. The enormous scale is not a threat above you, it is a wide home around you, holding you as you grow sleepy. Cosmic inflation is the idea that space, in its earliest moment, swelled outward at an astonishing pace. It can sound like pure invention, a story told to fill a gap, yet it was not dreamed up idly. It was offered to solve real puzzles that troubled careful minds studying the young cosmos. Consider how uniform the universe looks. In every direction we turn our instruments, the broad picture appears remarkably smooth, with no jarring seams or lopsided edges. Inflation explains this evenness, stretching tiny patches so wide that they share a single calm temperature across the whole observable sky. Consider too how flat space appears, neither curling shut nor flaring open, but laid out straight on the grandest scales. This flatness once seemed a strange coincidence. The early swelling smooths curvature away, much as inflating a small balloon to enormous size makes any patch of its surface seem level. Because inflation succeeds where it is tested, accounting for the cosmos we actually observe, physicists give weight to its stranger implications. They take seriously a surprising side effect. The swelling, once begun, may never fully cease everywhere at once, continuing on in regions far beyond our view. If inflation never wholly stops, it may keep budding off new regions, each settling into a universe of its own. This is where bubble universes enter the story, not as fancy, but as a consequence of an idea that earned our trust. The grounding came first, the wonder followed. The laws of nature carry certain fixed numbers, the constants that set how strongly things pull and bind. What is striking is how narrow the life-friendly range appears to be. These values sit within fine margins, and small shifts in them would have made a cosmos far less hospitable to us. Take gravity, the force that gathers matter together. Were it much stronger, stars would blaze through their fuel and burn out swiftly, leaving little time for slow worlds to ripen. Were it much weaker, matter might never draw close enough to ignite into stars at all. Consider the force that binds atomic nuclei, holding the hearts of atoms intact. If it were slightly different in strength, the long ladder of chemistry could falter. The rich making of complex things, the molecules that bodies and worlds rely upon, might never have arisen to begin with. These are delicate balances, dials that seem set within a slender window. It is a real feature of the cosmos, not a trick of phrasing, and it has puzzled thoughtful people for a long time. Why our universe sits where it does remains an open and honest question. Perhaps it is chance, ours being one fortunate draw among countless universes with countless settings. Perhaps it follows from some deeper reason we have yet to grasp. Either way, ours landed where stars could shine, and atoms could form, and living things could one day wonder about it. Let yourself wonder gently now, knowing this part is speculation, a soft maybe rather than a fact. If other bubble universes exist, and if some share laws much like our own, then they too might allow the slow gathering of stars, of planets, of the chemistry from which life can stir. Where stars, warm worlds, and chemistry grows intricate, minds may sometimes follow. So perhaps somewhere out in that unreachable elsewhere, other beings have arisen on their own quiet shores. Perhaps they too look upward into their night and feel the old pull of wonder we know so well. We could never reach them, never send a word or hear one in return. Uncrossable space lies between distances no journey or signal could ever bridge. They remain forever beyond our knowing, and we beyond theirs, two shores of an ocean with no far side to swim toward. And yet the thought of them is a warm one, not a lonely one. Picture fellow watchers gazing up as you are, each wrapped in their own small night, all moved by the same simple awe. It is a kinship that needs no meeting, a closeness made of shared wondering. So let these unseen others be a comfort as you settle. They ask nothing of you and expect nothing in return. They are simply there, perhaps, in the imagining, a faint companionship spread across the dark, a sense that the impulse to look up and marvel may be widely shared. There is an old, slow arc to discovery, and it can be felt as comfort. Once people believed the earth sat fixed at the very center of all things, with the heavens wheeling around it. Then we learned the truth, that our world quietly circles the sun, one planet among many. The sun, in time, proved to be no center either. It is not the hub of creation, but one star far out along the arm of the galaxy, turning with billions of others through a great slow wheel of light. The middle of everything kept receding from us, step by humbling step. Then even our galaxy took its place among countless others, one luminous island in an ocean of islands beyond number. Each discovery made us smaller in the scheme of things, and at the same time made the cosmos grander, deeper, and more astonishing than anyone before had dared to suppose. Yet none of these steps was truly a loss. Each was a gift, an enlargement of what we could see and hold and marvel at. To know one is small within something immense is not a wound. It is a kind of freedom, a release from the burden of being the center. The multiverse may be one more such step along that humbling, widening road. If it is, let it land as the others did, gently. There is real peace in being a small and cherished part of something vast, a single note held within a music far larger than yourself. As sleep draws near, consider how to hold a thing as large as infinity. It is not really something to grasp in the hand or pin down in the mind. It is more like a sky to rest beneath, an openness you lie under rather than a problem set before you to solve. You do not need to picture every possible world tonight. You do not need to settle the endless question or trace each branching path to its end. Set that labor down where you lie. The thinking will keep until morning, and nothing is lost by letting it wait through the night. It is enough simply to feel the spaciousness of it. Notice how a wide night sky can loosen something in the chest, how looking up at great distances seems to ease the smaller weights we carry. The bigness makes room, it lets the day's tight worries unclench and fall away. So let the vastness become a kind of permission. It does not demand your effort or your understanding. It only offers a place to set yourself down and rest. Beneath the immense reach of everything, you are allowed to grow small, to ease your hold, to stop holding on so tightly. Let your breath slow beneath that gentle, endless possibility. Whatever is out there in this universe or any other, it asks nothing of you in this moment but to rest. Grow calm, grow sleepy, grow small and safe under the wide sky, and let yourself sink down into sleep. Let us gather all of it now gently, and let it settle, the infinite reaches of space, the bubble universes blooming beyond our own, the branching tree of quantum possibility. Hold these vast ideas loosely, the way you would hold a warm cup near the end of a long day. Each of these pictures in its own quiet way opens the same remarkable door. If space runs on forever, copies of this very moment must recur. If bubbles bloom without end, others are out there. If every quantum chance plays out, the tree keeps branching. Through that doorway steps a thought both strange and tender. Somewhere far across endless space, or within a neighboring bubble, or along some branch of that great unfolding tree, there may be other versions of you, breathing tonight under their own scattering of stars. You need not believe it firmly for it to be worth holding. Treat it as a question the cosmos leaves open, a possibility resting at the edge of what we can know. Tonight you can simply let the idea exist without deciding, without reaching to resolve it. So let the door stand open while you rest. Nothing asks you to walk through it. Nothing asks you to understand it fully before morning. The thought will wait, and so will the stars, and you are free to let your thoughts grow loose and warm. Think back kindly to the choices that once kept you awake. The turn you took, the word you said, the path you chose when two lay open. In a branching cosmos, the road you left behind is not erased. It becomes a road that another self is walking. Picture a younger version of you at one of those crossroads. They went the other way, the way you only imagined. In some far branch they live the life you set down, and they may wonder on their own quiet nights about the road that led to you. Every choice you agonized over, every fork that felt so heavy, could have its mirror somewhere out in the wide unfolding of things. The job declined, the city left, the love almost spoken. Each unchosen road may yet be traveled by a hand that looks like yours. This need not feel like loss, though at first it can. It can feel instead like a strange and generous abundance, as if no possibility were wasted, as if the whole tree of your life were quietly being lived in full, leaf by leaf, somewhere beyond your sight. And here, on this single branch, your choices remain wholly your own. They shaped the warm and particular life that brought you to this bed, this hour, this breath. Whatever happens elsewhere, this road is yours, and it has carried you somewhere worth resting tonight. It is part of being human, this gentle sense of time carrying moments onward. Days pass, people grow, and the years move along their course. Tonight, rather than holding that as sorrow, Consider a softer possibility offered by these vast and open ideas about the cosmos, a kinder way to hold it. Perhaps nothing precious is ever wholly lost. Perhaps it is only lived out elsewhere, carried forward along some other thread we cannot follow. The afternoon you miss, the laughter you remember, may still be unfolding in a place beyond all maps and all reaching. If that is true, then loss wears a softer face. What slips from your hands here may be cupped in other hands far away. The story does not simply end. It continues, scattered across more rooms than any single mind could ever hope to enter. And notice this, the most reassuring part of all. Your one life here loses none of its worth because of the others. This branch is no less real, no less dear, for all its countless cousins. Your days are precious exactly as they are, held close and whole. So you may set down the old worry of things lost forever. Let it grow light and float away into the night. What mattered may endure in ways you cannot see, and what you have right now is enough to fill this peaceful, settling hour. For all the wonder in these other selves and other skies, a tender truth remains. We simply keep our own company here. No letter needs to cross between the branches, no bridge between the bubbles. Those worlds rest peacefully on their own, private and complete, while we are softly, wholly at home in this one. We have instead this single thread to hold, one life woven moment by moment, from a first breath to this present peaceful one. It is a narrow path through an unimaginably wide cosmos, and it belongs completely and only to you. Far from being a sadness, this can be a deep relief. You are not asked to live every life, only this one. You are not responsible for the infinite, only for the gentle hours that are actually yours, like the unhurried hour resting around you now. There is a quiet beauty in having just one thread. It makes each day rare, each face you love singular, each ordinary night like this one its own small treasure. Abundance lies elsewhere, but here the preciousness comes precisely from the limit. So hold your one life lightly and warmly as you lie here. It is enough that it is yours. It is enough that it is this. The other threads may shimmer far away while you rest content upon the single certain thread that is your own. Let your attention come home now from the far reaches back to this room. Whatever the truth of the cosmos, whether it is one or beyond all counting, notice what has not moved here. The night is still the night. Your bed is still warm beneath you. The stars that lean above your roof are exactly as they were. No theory of distant bubbles dims a single one. No branching tree disturbs the steady glow that has watched over sleeping people for 100,000 quiet generations before this one. Your breath, too, is wholly unchanged by any of it. The slow rise, the easy fall, the same faithful rhythm that has carried you through every night of your life. It does not hurry for infinity. It simply continues here, keeping its tender time. And rest, that simplest gift, is precisely the same as it has always been. The cosmos may be unthinkably grand, yet sleep meets you on the old familiar terms, asking only that you let go and lie still and allow the day to close. So let the grandeur stay outside where it does no harm. Nothing here is disturbed by what may lie beyond your reach. The vastness changes nothing in this room, and everything you truly need for rest is already gathered gently around you tonight. Consider how little the great questions ask of you tonight. They do not need an answer before you sleep. The size of the universe places no demand upon your shoulders, lifts no weight you must carry, sets no task between you and your rest. Whatever lies beyond reach, it stays beyond reach, and that is perfectly all right. The other selves go about their evenings. The other worlds turn on without you. None of them lean upon this room, and none of them ask anything of the person lying here. There's a deep safety in that distance. The wide possibility of everything unfolds far, far away, like weather over a sea you cannot see. It cannot reach your pillow. It cannot trouble your breath. It simply lets you be exactly as you are. So you can release the wish to hold it all together. You are allowed to know only your small corner and to love it. The universe will keep itself. It has done so for ages, and it asks no help from you in this resting hour. Feel, then, how undisturbed you are. The mystery is immense, and yet you are untouched by its immensity, cradled in a calm that the largest cosmos cannot crack. All is well within these walls, and all is well within this single breathing moment. Of all the places you might imagine across that endless possibility, here is the one that holds you. This bed, this hour, this gentle weight of your own body sinking down. Out of everything that could be, you are precisely, simply here. And here is exactly where you belong. Not on some far branch, not in some other bubble, but in this warm and ordinary room that has waited all day to receive you. You are home in your own life, settled into the place that is truly yours. Let that belonging spread through you like warmth from a low fire. There is nowhere else you need to be tonight. No road left to walk before morning. No question left to solve. Only this slow sinking into the rest you have earned. Feel how your body grows heavier, how the small holdings of the day loosen one by one, the shoulders ease, the hands unfold, the breath lengthens on its own, slowing toward the calm and even rhythm of someone falling gently toward sleep. You are safe, and you are exactly where you should be. The vast cosmos turns far beyond these walls, and it leaves you in peace, just here, just now, sinking softly into the deep and welcome stillness that is rising up to meet you. We have wandered together to the very edges of what can be imagined, and now we come home for the last time tonight. There is nothing more to reach for, nothing more to understand. All that remains is to let yourself rest fully and completely. Somewhere far across the wide unfolding of everything, the other worlds shimmer on. Let them, they need nothing from you now. Their gentle distance is a kind of lullaby, a vast and peaceful hum beneath the small, warm quiet of your room. And here, on your one precious thread, you are settling into sleep. Your breath has slowed, your body has grown heavy and at ease. The day is behind you, and the night has folded itself kindly around you like a blanket drawn up close. You are exactly where you belong, safe and held and home. There is nothing left to do, nothing left to carry, no thought you must finish before you let go. The whole vast cosmos can keep itself tonight while you simply, sweetly rest. So close your eyes now and let the last of the waking world dissolve. Sleep is here for you, easy and deep and kind. Rest well, dear listener, wherever and whoever you are. Good night, and may your sleep be peaceful until morning comes. Our slow journey through the many worlds is over now, and you have done the only thing it asked of you, which was to rest. There is nothing to keep and no fact to carry into the light. The whole quiet voyage was only ever a soft place to set yourself down. If you are still awake, let there be no worry in it. Remain here in the warm hush a while longer, breathing slow, held by the same calm that holds the farthest stars. Sleep arrives the way dawn does, not when forced, but when everything grows still enough to allow it. And if you are drifting now at the soft edge of sleep, let yourself go completely. The cosmos will keep its endless turning, the other worlds will shimmer on far beyond reach, and morning will arrive in its own unhurried hour, exactly when it should. Thank you for spending this night with us, here at the Circadian Institute, wandering among the countless worlds. Sleep now, and sleep deeply. The whole vast universe unfolds gently beside you, and you are perfectly at home within it. Good night, and the deepest of good rests to you.